Okay.
Good evening. My name is Kirk Smallage. This is the meeting for the Douglas Library Board of Trustees for Monday, June 8th of 2026. I am the current chair for the Board of Trustees, and I will call this meeting to order, and I believe it's 7:05. If you will join me, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Emily, I note that you're with us tonight, and thank you for being here. Donna, I noticed that you're with us, and again, thank you for being here. We'll ask, I don't see any other people online for public comment.
No.
So hearing that we have no one here in our attendance, then we'll move on to the reports. Madam Secretary, can we have a motion to approve the minutes from the from the May 26th meeting? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong minutes here for that.
I move that we approve the minutes of the May 11th, 2026 meeting of the Douglas Library Board of Trustees.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comment on the minutes? Any corrections, additions, anything anybody has? Emily, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. For those in attendance, anything? Okay, hearing no comments, then I'll ask for a vote. We'll just signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Emily. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that vote is carried unanimously. Okay, we will now move on to the town manager representative. Hi, Donna, welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you.
I was at last month's meeting. Last month was my first month back.
Okay.
So I'm going to be covering the Board of Trustees meetings for Dory for now, and then she took on a different responsibility, another board. So
Okay.
until we have a new town manager, a permanent town manager, I'll be here.
Good. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you. So just a few things from our office. We are in the midst of the formal town manager search. We've hired a consultant to help the town council with that search. We have met with him. We had a couple different sessions. There's going to be a community forum in a couple of weeks that anybody, residents, members of the community are invited to attend that. That's going to be in a virtual format with the consultant facilitating. Just looking for input on what qualities people are looking for in the next town manager. That's on Thursday, June 25th. From our office, we are very busy with the budget. Going to third referendum on the 16th. Hopefully this one, the third time's the charm, I guess, we hope. If this budget does not pass, there's going to be further things under consideration for reductions, and one of them is library hours are on the list for the next potential round of budget reductions. So just encourage people to vote. And we are looking at some new computer replacements for the library in our next batch of computer replacements. So that should be happening soon. And I think that's it. And unless anybody has any questions for me.
Does anyone, Emily, do you have any questions for Donna?
maybe getting ahead of myself, but if the library hours do end up having to be cut as part of the next round of cuts, if it comes to that, is there an idea of what, like how many hours that might be, or?
It would depend on the number. I mean, we've given them the cost per hour. Drusilla did do a memo outlining what different scenarios could be, but it really would depend on what number they reduce the budget by. I don't know, Drusilla, if you want to maybe expand on that about the
Yeah,
Saturday
so
hours.
I had talked to Claire and Lita and looked at our stats for when we had the least traffic. And Saturdays are by far our quietest days. So I had given the board of finance what the cost would be to close on summer Saturdays only, what the cost would be for year-round Saturdays, and then also we have a couple of evenings during the week that are quite quiet. And so looking at closing one evening a week and what that cost would be. Trying to balance needing to, looking at where we could make cuts with where we have the heaviest use and the lightest use. So those were the days and times that our numbers have consistently been low. So that's where we started. But as Donna says, it would depend. I mean, there's a big difference between just closing Saturdays during the summer and closing all Saturdays and an evening a week.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that we don't have to.
Everybody
Come to
vote yes.
Yes. I think we've reached the point where we ought to have hopefully satisfied everybody's needs for our budget to pass, but we'll see how that goes.
I do want to just clarify one thing. It is the town council who make the line item reductions, not the Board of Finance. So
Okay.
it's the town council that will be making. The Board of Finance makes the bottom line adjustment, like this last time they cut 75,000 from the town and 75,000 from the Hebron Board of Ed. But then the town council is the one who determines where those cuts are coming from.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that's clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Anybody else with any questions for Donna? I have one comment that I'd like to make. And I think I have you to thank for this in your interim role. But if it wasn't your idea, then maybe you can clarify that at the end of my glowing comments here. I thought that meeting that took place with the various different chairs of boards and commissions was one of the best things that I've ever been involved in since I began living in Hebron back in 1976. I was absolutely shocked at the amount I did not know about what's going on in other boards and commissions in this town. It was just so informative. And it gave us the opportunity, although the focus here was to address our wants, if you will, for the new town manager. The result was an opportunity to discuss a wide host of different things affecting all of us, but coming from the perspective of each of the commission, whether it be Park and Rec or the library, or it's a format that I personally would like to see advocated to continue in some way, whether it be once or twice a year, to gather those boards, the chairs for those boards and commissions, and have the opportunity for that exchange. I can't tell you how much I learned and how many misconceptions were cleared or corrected as a result of hearing from the actual people that are involved in dealing with some of the rumors or thoughts or ideas that were out there, and they were rapidly dispelled as a result of having that kind of a meeting. So, Donna, if that was you, big time kudos. If it's not, big time kudos to whoever it was.
So that was kind of a joint decision with the advice of the consultant, with Bill Frazier, who is our consultant from SGR, and the town council, who is the search committee, and then staff input. But we do a similar, not exactly in that same format, but we used to do it at least every 2 years, but sometimes once a year, where we would have an all boards meeting. So all elected and appointed boards and commissions would be invited to send at least one representative. It was usually held in January or shortly after the election, where and appointments of newly elected officials and then newly appointed. And it would be like a roundtable discussion of all the board and commissions. It always took in place in the library because it's the only space large enough. But it would be a roundtable discussion where every board and commission could report on the work that they do, the challenges that they're facing, their goals, and anything other upcoming information that they felt needed to be shared. We kind of got away from that during COVID. I think we might have done one since COVID, but it definitely is something that is very valuable, and it helps especially newly elected and appointed officials get a better feel for what everyone else does. So that will definitely be on my list to give to our new town manager for things that we should be doing. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. So that session there were no elected officials there. It was only appointed boards and commissions that were invited to that one.
Right.
And that was by the recommendation of the consultant.
The only minor negative was that I wish more boards and commission chairs or whatever had been there. We were missing a few of them. But the ones that were there, it was really, really incredibly good insight and information that they were able to provide from their individual perspectives of how they serve. So,
That's good to know.
yeah,
to
I
know.
just, I got to, I was floored, Don. We were also blessed in that particular meeting to have the superintendent of schools for
Yes.
Hebron,
Yeah.
Dr. Baird. I might not have been a big fan to begin with, but I came away with a different perspective. I certainly appreciate the insight and intellect that the gentleman has, and some of the things that he was able to provide for information were also shocking. I didn't think anybody was involved in some of the efforts that I hear that are taking place to try and do some cost reductions in the education area. So I think it was just marvelous. I can't say enough about it, really. So
That's
thank
good
you.
to know.
And thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. That was just a really happy moment. So we will move on. Oh, it's me. I probably already spoke enough to be able to cover everything. I really wanted to make sure I touched on that because it was so good. I think I'm going to defer to where we get individual situations on our agenda rather than getting ahead of ourselves on some of these points that we'll be talking about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Madam Director.
So in case you couldn't tell from my report, May was a little busy.
I guess.
And the big thing was the 400 preschoolers from Gilead Hill.
That must have been amazing.
It's a heck of a lot. It was actually the preschoolers and I believe kindergarten and first grade were here. We had rotating buses coming through every kid from preschool through, I believe it was first grade, it might have been second, and assorted siblings and chaperones, and there was a lot of kids in this building. They came on a Friday before we opened, and then the schools invited Lita to go to the schools to talk about summer reading and do a story time. So that was really great. It was really nice to have that. And this is the first time they've made the library a field trip. So we had, like I said, there were just buses going in the parking lot. But so that was really good. And it was, by the time we opened at noon, everybody was exhausted already because but yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I would just like to comment and applaud the group that and the energy that went into that. I think that's an amazing feat and what an absolutely wonderful way to promote the summer reading program. I mean, hopefully we had a few parents that were chaperones.
A bunch of parents who were chaperones. We had several siblings who I guess were told that like if mom or dad was chaperoning, siblings could come. So several of the siblings were actually kids that Lita knows from story time because they're the younger siblings. So she said it was kind of funny because some of the kids were like, "That's Miss Lita. I know her." And they're all important because they know what's going on. But yeah, so she and several of the part-time staff took care of that. It actually took about a week between going there and then the big culmination was the Friday morning that they were all here. So and now we are all bracing ourselves for summer reading, which starts next week. And we do have programs for all ages. So would like to encourage members of the board to come to some of the programs, participate. We have some general programs. We have several programs specifically for adults. We do incidentally on Wednesday have a couple of seats left for our tea and chocolate program, which does include samples. So the presenter is someone that is very well known in Connecticut libraries and does an excellent job. And she talks about sort of the history of tea, and she's going to give this a little bit of a Downton Abbey spin.
Cool.
So a little bit about tea etiquette, and you get samples of tea and samples of chocolate, and
It's this Wednesday?
that's this Wednesday. Hang on, I have to bring up our website. Actually, wait, the newsletter's right there. It should tell you. Look on the back cover, Peter.
Does that have the sessions for the summer reading?
Yes.
Oh, good, okay.
So it's a
7 PM, Spirited Book Club.
no, it should be the week before. Pleasant Pairing.
Medicare. Medicare.
Uh-oh, did she not put it on there?
Wednesday, you said.
It is a Wednesday
Yeah.
because I will be here pouring tea.
Last month's.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
I
in
know,
somewhere.
I
Oh,
know.
you can,
Yeah,
You
it's
can
on the
find it.
upcoming program. list.
yes,
Yeah.
it is happening on Wednesday. I will be here pouring tea and we do have seats available. So,
Do we have a need for more volunteers to help you?
I don't believe so. I have done this for Kim, the presenter at other libraries before.
Okay.
So that was why I was volunteering because. And then she tries to feed me chocolate and I keep having to remind her that I can't eat it.
Oh, boy.
It just says it's on June 10th.
I'll send you an email and let you know.
Yeah. If you're gonna send, could you do that to all the members?
I will do.
I would second the suggestion that anybody that can stop in and take a peek at that. I'm very anxious. This will be my first summer where I would even be in a role to go and observe because I don't have any kids or grandkids involved. But yeah, I'm looking forward to
Well, and
stopping by.
if you look at the newsletter has, or our online calendar, there's a number of programs like, animal programs and so on that are all ages. So come and learn about whatever critters we have. And some of them will feature live animals, which is always a hit with kids.
Yes. Hit with older people too.
The rabbit, right?
Good.
Yeah, as long as I don't get peed on by a rabbit.
Ah.
Great.
I like a workers' compensation claim.
Own you a parka. A rain parka.
It's not on there.
Really?
Emily, do you have anything that you'd like to ask of the director during her report?
No, I don't think so.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they'd like to ask? I have just a couple quick things that I would like to address within it. And the first one involves, and thank you for your active involvement in Bibliomation as part of their board. I would be curious, is Bibliomation, without reinventing the wheel, doing anything in other libraries where they're doing what I'll call more active promotion to get more people involved in using Bibliomation? That would be question number one. And question number two, is anyone tracking the activity of people coming online to use Bibliomation? And does it get so specific as to come from individual libraries, or is it just traffic in general?
So we get monthly stats, every library does. So the circulation is tracked, so Bibliomation tracks, so basically they provide our software. It lets us do the stuff that we do and facilitate the sharing of materials between libraries. So they track, or they run the reports for us every month, which is great because the reports module is a pain in the butt. So we know every month, every participating library, every member library knows how many people from other libraries have checked things out at our library.
Oh.
How many materials have we sent to another library, whatever that library is. How many materials have we gotten from other libraries? So how many books or DVDs or whatever have come in. We know how many, which I can track. So our Overdrive, our Libby, which is the ebooks, we sort of use our consortium purchasing power to help build a sort of core collection. And so I run a monthly report that says how many of our own ebooks were checked out and how many of Bibliomation's did our patrons check out. As for encouraging people to use it, it's kind of up to the individual libraries in terms of members of the public using the resources, because every library sort of does its own.
Okay, so
publicity.
I don't know, script, if you will, that really promotes Bibliomation out to the public. And
There is to a certain extent. So the director of Bibliomation, she's still fairly new, the director there, Alessandra. But she does, if there's a library that might be interested in joining, she will go and talk to them. We do have a couple of libraries right now that are interested. The issue is always that Bibliomation is a really good deal, what we pay them a year for what we get. But the cost to transition in, because you have to get all of your data and all of your items in your catalog and everything into our system. And that is a significant cost. So she's always like, people really want to join, libraries really want to join Bibliomation and sort of increase our consortium, but they got to get over that hurdle. For example, Willington is one that is very interested, but Willington is having some budget issues and coming up with the cost. Even though in the long term, it would be a savings, coming up with the funding, the initial funding is a bit of a challenge. But yes, folks from the consortium, certainly Alessandra is out talking about it. And those of us on the board, kind of part of our role is, so Steve from Willington reached out to me to ask questions because I guess I'm the name he recognizes, not really sure. And each of us who are on the board have liaison libraries, so our own 5 libraries that we kind of check in with regularly. See if there's anything that we can help them with or that we can guide them to the right person at Bibliomation.
okay, I just, in wearing sort of 2 hats and attending the Commission on Aging, the library was under the same problem or concerns for cost reductions as the library. But one of the areas that I was thinking more about after is that the Dial-A-Ride program, which brings the seniors to various locations, probably heavily focused mostly on medical, but there are currently availabilities, if people ask for it, to be transported to and from the library for opportunities. But it just seems to me that online, especially Bibliomation, is probably the strongest program that I'm personally aware of without having a very broad background in it. Is such a potentially great tool for the what I'll call housebound if we get to the point where for some reason Dial-A-Ride focuses just strictly on medical and doesn't end up being capable because of cut in hours or whatever to do individual services like come to the library or go get your hair cut or whatever. That, we're gonna need that more and more and more.
Maybe a session at the senior center.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, I'm even wondering if at some point, though we currently don't have a true liaison, although maybe, I don't know, maybe Emily, I'll ask you about this out offline, but I don't feel we really have a liaison per se that's like talking to RAM about the possibility of maybe using some of the kids that need the service hours for whatever they're needed for, community service. That, wouldn't it be great if we had like a afternoon or two at the senior center where seniors don't have to go very far to get there, or the buses are easily transport more than one of them, perhaps to come back and have those folks involved in actually setting up some computers, which we have a couple there, and give the seniors an opportunity to learn firsthand and work with them without having to necessarily go back to their homes and try to figure out and do it. So that,
Yeah, we have offered, so we didn't have as many this year, but we often get RAM kids, the high school kids, looking for service hours. And we have, one of the things we suggest is if you wanted to do like a drop in and ask technology questions, and that's not really something I think that they're interested in.
oh,
Um,
okay.
they want to come help with programs. We have one young man who was very excited to dust all of the bookshelves, which was delightful. If you really want to dust every bookshelf in the building, have at it. Took all the books off, dusted the shelf, put the books back. It was great. But yeah, that's, it's one of the things we suggest as a possibility.
Well, I think seniors in general need maybe a little bit more hand holding than the younger, folks. And so.
Yes, we do get constant, it's constant that we have people coming in and asking for help with the device or asking for help with, how do I use this or how do I do this? One of the issues in Hebron, however, is that certain parts of town do not have the greatest internet connectivity.
Oh,
So there are people that come in.
Valley.
There are parts of Amsden that do not have the greatest. So I know that there are people that come into the library because that's how they can access things.
Yeah.
But
Well-
interestingly, our ebook and e-audio are downloadable. Those numbers seem to stay fairly consistent, even when our hard copy circulation keeps ticking slightly upwards. There's been a real move, especially among younger people. Interestingly, there's been a real move away from the screen and to actual print books. They find that it's easier to concentrate on a print book. So
Let's put an interesting article in the Current about the cost
of ebooks, yes, the cost of the ridiculous cost. We had someone request one last week, and they have one person who's interested in it, and a single copy, which we could only use for 12 months, and after that we'd have to buy a new one, was $200. And I can buy the same book in print for 18 and use it forever. So it's like I can't justify the cost. And if that individual had bought it, if you bought it yourself, it might be $10 for you to buy and download. But for libraries, it's just incredibly
yeah, it's
expensive.
more expensive. Well, I really still feel strongly that that's an area that we as a public library need to continue to promote and work on trying to make it as easy as possible for seniors in particular. Even if we have duplication of venues, if we have this set up and available to do here in the library, and they use the senior center community room there, I don't see that to be a problem, especially if you get the kids involved, like from RAM, where they get to do some community service hours and enjoy that hand holding and maybe potentially enjoy the relationship that they might begin to have with.
So like that thing on how to use the downloadable ebook.
Right, just, I would like to see it focus on the barest of essentials, but enough to be able to give the seniors a chance that if they're homebound and they want to be able to, read a book and they have an iPad probably would be the easiest thing. I doubt many of them do laptops, but, to be able to have them be at the library or be at the senior center and get Kindle or whatever they're using and be able to download a book that they can actually read. I think that would be amazing because I just get the feeling not many of them are taking advantage of that. And when you see how many of them are truly pretty homebound, and I'm not talking about just those that come and use the senior center. I'm talking about those that are more likely to come here. I just think it's a tool that we need to do as much as we possibly can as we move forward.
I do find with the seniors who come in that it's much easier to do one-on-one. And
Yes.
so we do a lot, I mean, we do 60 or 65 one-on-one tech sessions a month
Okay.
and it's
That's encouraging.
generally speaking, it is with seniors. And a lot of it is, how do I download this? How do I access this on my device? But trying to do it in a group setting, is hard.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Because you've got
I agree. I would,
knows what and who does what, but
Again.
we do very much do one-on-one technology help. And
My-
we also do, I don't know if everyone on the board is aware of this, we do home delivery. We have a volunteer who will do home
So I
delivery.
can call in.
of hardcover books?
If you have, yes, yeah,
Wow.
you can call us up and say, I put this on hold and can it be delivered to me? And yes, we have
Okay.
a volunteer who will do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gotta promote
It is intended. It is
Okay.
intended for those who are homebound or those with medical issues, because we do only have one volunteer, although for a while we had an individual who lived just down the street from a staff member. And so that staff member would be the delivery person for that address.
That works for me.
But we would, if you want to do it, you can deliver to other people. How's that? That'll be your home delivery.
Well,
But
thank
so
you
we
for
do-
that.
We do offer that service. It is not heavily used. And again, we do.
Well, I've made note of that and
Um,
we'll see if we can do a better job of getting that promoted out there.
Then you got to get me some volunteer delivery
I,
people too.
I will help you personally with that. I think that couldn't be a better way of
We
spending.
do offer
some
that
time.
service, because again, it's a lot easier for a lot of the seniors, rather than try to grapple with, how do I download this? How do I use this technology? What happens if, I don't know, it shuts off in the middle of something?
Right.
To get them a book or a CD that they know how to use.
I guess I'm probably more inclined, I certainly understand the group thing. That was never my concept, but I do think how wonderful is it if you've got I assume these would be seniors because they're probably in need of the community hours, maybe juniors, but to develop a relationship with someone one-on-one, have that person come back maybe every, once a month or whatever it happens to be, and meet with them, sit with them and help them just to download like a couple of really good books. Or maybe a movie that all they got to do if they show them is you just have to push this button and it will play, and get to the real simple basics. How thrilling it would be for someone, I think, that just doesn't have that now, to have all of a sudden the access to that and have a friend that they've gained as a result of it as well. So anyway, I won't spend more time on that. That's,
Can I just ask one quick question? The book delivery, could that be something we could tie in with the town driver dial-a-ride?
you might be able to do a coordination with the dial ride program.
Say
That's a
we've
very
never
limited.
Been able to in the
Yeah,
past.
it's a limited number of people on a given day. I would say
Limited number of.
the average,
They go. is-
right, average dial ride driving is only 2 to 4 contacts per day. Because you're generally going far,
Their appointment?
yeah, somewhere and you're waiting for them. So there just isn't, it's not envisioned as being like, pick up 5 people and drop them off in different spots in Hebron and come back to the senior center.
So
I don't think that ever happens. I mean,
Oh.
maybe once in a blue moon.
volunteer who is our drop-off person, so he will bring the item to like a mailbox or a
Right.
convenient spot, but so it's not.
It would be more like Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels are pretty intense in a very short period of time. Like when the truck delivers to the senior center and there's volunteers that come in and they pick those up and they go out and drive. That might be 10,
And
12,
they're
15
also in a
people.
very limited
Okay,
geographic area,
okay.
unlike the dial-a-ride that's, might be
Yeah.
going to Glastonbury or something.
Hmm.
Well, I appreciate discussion on this. I just think it's one of those things that,
I mean, I can talk to
There's-
Sharon and at the senior
It's an
center.
outreach.
yeah, it is an outreach.
I can talk to Sharon and see, you know, maybe if we get the kids who are reaching out about hours, which is they're generally only looking for like 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
But
Usually
it
at
might,
the end of the year.
yeah, but I mean, I might be able to see if I could refer them.
40 this
or
week.
Do something like that.
Well,
I
and
know what
you
to
can tell her,
Paid
well,
by HS.
if you get to her before I get to her, I'm going to offer that help to do that, to help the coordinate, to help get this set up. Okay, so I know she's really strapped because she's losing her
But,
program
I mean,
coordinator.
the issue is like trying to get,
Yeah, but
I can't have a volunteer at the library who is doing something at the senior center. Does that make sense? Like it would have to be
yeah,
a senior center volunteer.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
which we don't
Doing-
have many of those, but anyway, thank you so much for addressing this and bearing with my question. Oh, the other one quick thing that I had, I was surprised to see on this program of all these wonderful things that on July 22nd, the Hartford Circus Fire is on that.
Yeah.
Are you actually doing the play?
No, we have someone coming to do a presentation.
Oh, it's a presentation. Oh, okay.
Well, it's good. Did you see it?
There's like 3 different plays.
I am,
There are
Yes, and
multiple.
that was the
Yes.
saddest thing I
Multiple
think I've
plays.
seen in a long, long time.
But no, it's a historical presentation on
The
Circus
play
Fire.
was done by Theater Works and it was,
Yeah.
I,
The
I
newest
typically don't
play.
like to pay money to go to see something that makes me feel worse when I come out than when I went in. I mean, that's just.
Could you go see the current play
Well,
at Cheney Hall? in
I just-
Yes.
I went to that because neighbors invited my wife and I left there and my shirt was soaked. I think I had so many tears. I've never seen anything so moving. And I was so, once again, impressed that I knew so little about that as an incident, you know, the history of it. And I'm looking at this saying, oh my God, you're going to bring that here? Don't bring any kids. It's pretty sad.
A presentation about the history of the fire.
All right, well, thank you. That kind of blew me away, having just, it was only a week or two ago. Okay, well, thank you, Madam Director, for that wonderful report. Thank you for doing that every month. There's lots of things going on in your world. So let's move on to old business and talk about the 2027 budget update. Is there anything specific you want to?
We're waiting. We're waiting
Everybody's
to
just
see.
waiting.
Go vote yes.
It sounded to me from what you and Donna talked about that you have really put a lot of thought into this and presented them with some really logical and well thought out ideas. Hopefully not to be used, but better to have those in hand and know, you know, so we're not just caught, you know, empty handed and say, well, we really don't have anything.
Yeah.
So
And I mean,
thank you
we've
for that effort.
already had some reduction in budget. You know, that's going to make some things interesting next year, but we're hoping if this next budget passes, we're hoping that we will not have to reduce hours,
Okay,
but we're just kind of waiting to see.
okay. Well, yes, sir.
I might have asked this a few months ago. I don't remember. About our wages for the part-timers. We're still comparable or if we're
No.
losing ground again.
Well, so the minimum wage continues to go up. So we try to increase the people who are making more than minimum wage. So when minimum wage goes up, everybody goes up proportionately. But no, we are still, for example, way behind Bolton. Bolton starts its part-timers at $23 an hour. Marlboro starts them at $20 an hour. So yes, we are still behind.
Yeah, I think we need.
There are some libraries that do start at minimum wage as well, but you know, I have to say, if you had the choice of working here for, what is it, $17 and something, or Bolton for 23, I'd go to Bolton.
Yeah. So,
But there's also a reason that Bolton doesn't hire that often, which is because they pay their people more.
yeah, that was my next question. Have we lost a lot of, I know we've had pretty good turnover lately.
We've had, but I mean, a lot of the turnover that we've had was expected. We had a retirement. We had someone who finished grad school and went on to full-time, actually 2 who finished, one's finished and one's partway through and have gone on to full-time employment. And we know it's like we have 2 right now that we know that are looking at grad school. And so we would have them for a couple of years, and then once they finished grad school, you know, they would be looking for full-time.
Yeah.
Got to pay back those student loans.
That's pretty much the nature though of that kind of work.
That is what happens when
Yeah.
you have a lot of part-timers.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, we've got a good group, and we've done pretty well since I've been here at bringing on good candidates. We haven't, you know, the last time we had an opening, I thought we might get 15 applications, and I think we had like 40. It was
Wow.
ridiculous.
It's a nice
So,
place to work.
so we're doing pretty well at sort of trying to make this, a good place to work.
It is a good
But
place.
yeah, in terms of hourly wages, we are not,
We're still behind.
we're still behind. We're not as far behind as we were,
Yeah.
but we are still behind.
You can tell it's a good place to work when you walk around and you see your staff smile. I think that's important. And I see that when I come through here. So I think it's,
Know what you mean? We have no fun here.
well, you have a lot of fun
Fun in
here.
the-
I think maybe. I just think I do see that, and I think that's pretty cool. Before we move on, Emily, did you have anything that you wanted to ask about the budget?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then we will move on to the board composition. This is here primarily to address, and I frankly, I don't have the personal knowledge, so I'm going to rely on, well, Donna's still with us?
Yep.
Yeah. I think we need to do something now that the board has accepted with regret and with accolades, the resignation of Gail Richmond. And I think we now have the responsibility of notifying the association that has happened, and that we would like the association to present a candidate for replacing Gail. Is that done by the secretary, or is it done by me as the chair, or I don't know the answer.
We tell Donna, who's the chair of the
Well, Donna already is aware, but I don't, Donna, are you already planning? Do we have to do anything, or are you already, I'm sorry to bring you back in I think you're still.
That's
here.
okay. I mean, I am aware that now there is a vacancy that is an association position. So the association will have to hold a meeting to recommend or nominate someone for that. But I don't think we have anyone at this moment. I'm not aware of anybody from the association.
Okay,
that
I do
will-
have a couple of people that have expressed interest to me personally, and I did explain to them, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, they have to first become members of the association.
Correct.
And then
Yeah.
once they've done that, then they have to present themselves as a potential candidate to fill this position, and send some type of letter both to you and maybe to the Board of Town Council now?
Council.
Town Council? Is that true that both have to get letters? Or is
So
it- no,
they would
Not-
probably contact me or the association first
First,
to say
okay,
that they're interested, because
Okay.
then we would hold a meeting
okay,
similar to what we did with Patricia.
yes, okay, good. So
Yeah.
I'll use that as the word I'm looking for, the path for
Right.
being able to move
Right.
this forward. We would be delighted to get another member on the board as soon as we could. So yes, I will help get that moving with a couple people that I know that have expressed interest in serving,
Okay.
so.
Thank
Good,
you.
all right. Yeah, and thank you for staying and being available to answer yet another question. Okay, the other issue with the board composition is just in the works, or how do I put this since we're in a public meeting? Terrifying? No, it needs to be done. I'm working on that one. So let's just can you put that one more time for the next budget? I may have more to present at that point. Okay, anybody else have anything on? If anybody has somebody that they know, just because I mentioned I had a person or two, please, we all know the drill, right? Everybody knows how it works? Okay, so please let anybody get in touch with Donna if they're not already a member of the association to, present themselves as a potential candidate for,
One of his questions, they can always stick their head in my office.
yes, that's good. Thank you for offering that. Okay, so the next one is Ram Schools. I don't have a lot to report on this. Ram is still really, everybody's involved over there and just trying to figure out how they get the budget passed. So I still haven't felt that it's the appropriate time even to reach out to the administration, the principals. They're just, it's not the right time. I don't feel it is. So we'll get to it, but it's just not the right time, in my opinion, right now. If anybody differs with me, then they're welcome to write the letter and send it on, and we'll be happy to work together on that. But that's just my feeling. Anybody have any comments or feel differently, or? Emily, anything that you're kind of involved in RAM with kids there, right?
Yeah, I am. I agree. I think, with it being the end of the school year and with everything going on with the budget, maybe not the best time to approach them, but maybe something we could consider like later in the summer.
Yeah. Actually, as soon as the budget's approved.
Yeah.
And we've gotten the kids out of school maybe, but it probably is going to turn into, and then of course you have vacations, but we'll figure out. That will happen. This is an important issue and we still, yes. And can we put it back on the agenda?
Yeah, we did that.
All right, thank you. Without anything else on that, I'm going to move on to the Friends of the Library.
New or old?
Anything, well,
New.
Nothing on either front.
okay, so nothing from the FOI side?
No,
Okay.
unless Donna has heard anything since the last time I did. I don't
Okay.
think so. No,
Do you have anything, Donna?
no, she shook her head at me.
We
Okay,
haven't heard
fine.
anything. We have not heard anything from the commission.
Okay,
The last time we went to that hearing, they were still trying to determine jurisdiction. So
Okay.
we haven't heard anything further.
all right. So are we in good stead to just wait until we hear something? Is that your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Yeah.
okay. All right, then that's also, will you please put that?
Yep.
And then how about the new
Um,
structure? Did they make any progress?
Anything from Maria, although she has been busy moving her offspring out of state.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that probably slowed things down a bit. One of our former staff. So I do have a note to reach out to her this week. I had that on my calendar upstairs.
could you,
I know that they had a dozen people at the last meeting. But a lot of it is getting the paperwork done and filing
Yeah.
paperwork, and then you sit around and wait.
yeah, okay.
So,
Could you just make a note to yourself that if you do contact her and you have something that comes out of that, could you just shoot us an email and give us a little quick update on that one item? That
Yeah.
would be helpful. Does anybody else have any questions regarding either? Okay, Emily? You good on the Friends?
Yep.
Okay. Then we will leave the area of old business and move on to new business. And this is another, I hope to be a good thing. Recognition of the former board member, and of course, we're talking about Gail. And I'd like to have any ideas that anybody might have. I have a couple of my own, but I'll wait and hear what other people might have in mind first. Does anybody have something that they think would be appropriate to recognize Gail's service?
I think we should name this room after.
I was gonna say, my suggestion would be the Richmond Community Room.
Oh, awesome. That's bigger than where I was going.
I mean, in addition to all of Gail's work, Jack's been a great community citizen as well,
Yes,
so
Yeah.
I think we could do a lot with that.
Yeah,
He was the registrar of voters for a long time. They're, always very involved.
so are you proposing it be a Gail and Jack or Jack and Gail?
It's the Richmond.
Or just Rich, just the last,
what we've done in
Okay.
other places, which is just put a plaque saying,
Yeah,
this room named in honor of. But the name itself be just,
the Richmond, yeah.
yeah,
different idea.
the Richmond Room.
Right, but I mean, if we have to propose it,
Yeah, I was gonna
right,
say,
isn't the order
propose it to,
Yeah.
yeah.
to the town council? Okay, then how do we get started or move that?
How do we do that?
My guess would be that the board take a vote that this is what you want to do, and then you send a letter.
Okay,
That would be my theory.
okay.
Can we get more information before we take a vote
On
and talk about next month?
what
Are
are
we
you?
voting just to get more information to go ahead with this, or?
I would have thought voting to send the request to the town council.
Council. Did you, what do you mean by more
You-
information? You're not happy with making it hit the room?
I guess I'd just like to get more information on, is there a precedent about
The boardroom,
naming different
the boardroom is named.
places? Well, that was different. That was the association. Now we're a town.
Oh, you mean the association recommended that?
Yeah,
Yeah, the boardroom was.
Okay.
when it
I
was-
mean, but you say, years of service, which is true, but like Danny Larson, 40 years, are we gonna name something after him? I
I
need
just,
to get a little clarification.
I think that this would be because it's the library board member, association member, like
Right.
what the town does elsewhere.
Um,
This would be the question for.
Donna, can we pose one more time to get your spin on this? Are you concerned at all about whether we can just go ahead and
You know,
take?
service was to the library.
Yeah, that's what
Her
her
service was
service was to
Right,
this
so-
this
facility.
library, yeah.
So naming
Yeah.
something in.
But are you okay if the board takes such action, or is it an association recommendation to the board that?
No, I was thinking the association it was an association library when.
When
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, I still think the question bears asking, is it okay if the board does that as opposed to the association?
Well, no, I think what Sue is saying is when that boardroom was dedicated, it was still an association library. The
Right.
town did not own the building.
Yeah.
The association was responsible
Yeah.
for the operation
Yeah, I gotcha.
of the library completely. So it was different.
Yeah.
I don't think at this time that the association would have a say in it, but I
Okay.
do believe that the town council
Right.
would
Yes. I think that's
confirm
what
that.
Jared-
I think there is no precedent or no protocol or guidelines that determine such a designation. It's rare, I believe. I mean, we did designate the meeting room at the town hall, the Marion Cilio room. So it has been done, but there really is no guidelines for that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely idea.
Okay.
I guess maybe you should discuss the other thoughts and then consider them all and determining which is the most appropriate to make the recommendation.
Okay. So one of the things coming out of your comment was that there isn't necessarily a precedent. My feeling is that if there were to be someone else, I don't know who that could be, but with that kind of dedication and longevity, that you could maybe always add the Richmond and Smallage room or something.
We have many spaces in this building though, that,
Right.
there's the story.
Right, but I mean,
It's just the story.
A joint room,
Yeah.
Right.
like, isn't this a joint?
The Hibbing Porter.
Yeah, so it's a joint room
Room,
between
yeah.
two people. So we're not like limiting it so that if maybe it's good, well, it's not named after you, right?
My
Your
father, my
father.
grandfather.
Okay. So you already got a
It's
room.
his,
Sorry, you're out.
Yeah.
So you're taken care of, sorry,
Anyway, but
Yeah.
that doesn't prohibit a future board from doing
Right, I mean,
more.
and there's no specific,
Right.
And I think
Right.
it's appropriate that Gail has been so involved
Mm-hmm.
and has worked so hard,
Yeah.
with the state library and so forth,
Well,
and I think that.
I was going for a little smaller room, but I'm thrilled if we want to do what has been proposed. So I'm going to be so bold as to ask for a motion that would be to name the community room, the Richmond Community Room going
So
forward.
second,
So Dale, you're making,
I'm making the motion.
okay, and Beth is seconding it. Okay, Discussion. Emily, do you have anything to add?
Hey,
Oh.
Don has a hand up.
Up, Donna.
Can you just amend the motion a little bit to that the Library Board of Trustees recommends to the
Recommends, yeah.
Hebron Town
Recommend to the,
Council?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew there was a reason you stayed.
That's-
Thank you so much. Ah, could you just stay all the time?
Does.
I know, but I do so appreciate it when she's, all right,
When it all gets done and we have a plaque, maybe invite.
oh, absolutely.
And have a
Yeah, if
reception.
she's capable of being able to, and family, yeah, we'll figure out something.
She has a daughter and son-in-law who live in town.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll do
Like
something
a
for the
garden party
actual,
down here.
Once
know,
we get that far.
yeah, yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take. Hopefully we get it, the motion, and then is it a letter that we need to send
I
in?
would say you need to send a letter.
All right, so,
Saying that at this board meeting,
It was
the board
recommended.
recommended,
okay,
you know, the
Do you
board
have
voted to
time
recommend.
to do a letter like that?
I get to be a
I'm sorry.
secretary.
Yeah, and you.
Do it.
Can it be signed by the secretary, or does it have to be?
Oh, no, you'll probably have to sign.
Let's sign it together.
Okay.
All right, you create it and then you and I'll
Okay.
sign. All right, first we got to get the motion approved.
So you got a motion and a second.
Emily, did I ask you if you had anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Being here tonight, I appreciate your being
Have-
part of this.
Oh, like-
Okay, then, any other, Sue, anything else? Okay, then hearing no further discussion, I'm going to ask for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 I
Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, any, thank you. Abstentions, it takes a village. With no abstentions. Okay, good. Then this is unanimous. I love that too. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
culminates one small difficult chapter in my personal life. I am basically a pretty upbeat person, and I don't like to be able to be in the role of having to ask somebody who's been so wonderful that I really need them to step down. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I just, I appreciate the counseling and the coaching and your support. And I think it was the right thing to do. But it thrills me that we're going to be able to recognize Gail for her service. So I'm going to take a minute. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. I think we might be getting close unless somebody has some other business. Anybody?
The only thing that I forgot to say earlier is that I will be in and out at meetings much of this month. Because it's end of year, and so the State Library Association and the State Library Consortium and the Bibliomation Consortium. And so if I am not here, if you call and you don't hear back from me, call Claire or Lita, they will know how to
Okay.
find me.
Cool. All right.
They know where I am.
We will figure that out. All right, excellent. If there's no other business, I'm going to take the next group as a group and ask, does anyone have anything to report from any of the committees? Okay. The only thing I'm going to say in this area is, isn't this, because this was before my time, isn't this part of like a 3 or 5 year plan that we created these? Okay. I think somewhere in the fall, we should probably go back and take a peek at what does this mean? We're not
I hate to
seemingly.
break it to you,
Oh.
but sometime in the fall, we have to start looking at another plan.
Okay, well, okay. Well, that's cool too, but I
Yeah.
just don't see this being very effective, if I can be so candid at this point. I don't think it's really, we're doing much with
If
it.
you're interested in what the strategic plan says that these are taken from, it is on the library website. And it
Thank
does
you.
break
Oh, I
down
did-
what the sort of
Okay.
priorities are that these came out of.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's on my agenda for the fall. I
Okay,
gotta start worrying about.
so
the
good.
strategic-
I just feel bad that we just kind of just blow over that every month. And so that's good that we could start to look at it in perhaps a different light. Okay, I think that's all I have unless anybody has anything else for the good of the order. Otherwise, oh, Dale makes a motion that we adjourn. So recognized. Do I have a second? Peter has seconded the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor of saying, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any nays? Okay, we are adjourned. And once again, thank you both, Donna and Emily, for your being here with us. I appreciate the support and your attendance.
Have a good night.
Yes, you too.
Good night.
Good night.